Hello, everybody. Okay, getting back into this. Okay, it is December 31st. It is New Year's Eve, and I went for a run this morning, and so I'm gonna do run-alongs number 4. I've had a little bit of a hiatus, so I just wanted to run through a few things. Had an early anniversary celebration with my wife in the Dominican Republic. That was a really good time, and highly recommend it. It was really fun to drive there, and it's been a little while since I drove in an environment like that, where you got like motorcycles, going around, and they could cut in front of you at any time. And it's beautiful. Yeah, we had a really good time. And then was in Tennessee for Christmas with my parents, and got to see my brother and my grandmother. And and just before that, I actually got to go to Austin to go to a friend's wedding, and that kind of came at it was a surprise. I didn't expect that I would be going to Austin for the wedding, and in fact, what I was scheduled to do was a marathon, and so that was one of the things that felt I needed to come on here and talk about. Is I didn't do the marathon because my back went out, and that marathon was on the exact same day as a wedding that I had been invited to. And so when that space opened up, I decided to go ahead and do that. And so if Dan Riley watches this video, I didn't make it, to the Kiwa Marathon, and now I've drank too much eggnog and I've lost a little bit of the progress that I made. But I still am going to do it, and I'm just going to do it myself. So over the next month or so, I'm just going to be trying to get back to where I was, and then just give it a go running, running around, running around until I hit 26.2 miles. So one of these days. So maybe early February, I think I'm going to try to make this 26.2 mile run happen. Let's see. I wrote down a few things that I wanted to talk about, and let's do it. So that was one update I wanted to make. I've written down that my notes say updates and thoughts on fairness, LeBron James, motivation, and Mike Club. So I think that was the main. Those were the main updates I wanted to give off the top, and then the thoughts on fairness came from a run I did a couple days ago, and I just wanted to share an idea, or the idea that was bouncing around in my head when I was running, which was just about the concept of fairness versus what's right. And I think it can be really easy to get caught up in what you think is fair. Fair is a really interesting word. It's I think probably we all have what we think is fair, and but a challenge that lies in fair is that not everybody has the same concept of what is fair. And so if you're so hung up on trying to make sure what is fair is what happens, then you can end up getting, well, you're not always right. One, everyone has a different angle in and a different view into what they think is fair, and so you have to have, I think, some humility in what you think is fair, um, and respect that others may have a equally valid perspective, or perspective. Is that what I said? Vantage point, something like that, on what's fair, and that sometimes what is fair may not be what is right. And I'm trying to wrap my head around that exactly. But I think I think sometimes it's not worth trying to, get fairness. Sometimes it's better to just be flexible, I think. Um, and that just fighting for what's fair may not be what's right. What's right may be having patience, and that fairness will work itself out over time. Um, you could if you just try to go tooth and nail over what's just equal and fair, um, it's a very difficult thing to parse out. And so I think I'll just leave it there, and just maybe something for you to think about, how you might differentiate between what's fair and what's right. Um, because sometimes maybe a more right path. I'm trying to think of like an example. Um, let's take a example of a relationship that um, every relationship is different. People bring different things to the table, and if you expect some kind of perfect fairness, um, you may be trading what's right for what's fair. So all right, we'll move on to LeBron James. so um, yeah, I want to talk about LeBron James, and the reason I want to talk about LeBron James is because, well, one, I'm a huge basketball fan. For those of you that don't know, love playing basketball. It's one of my main forms of exercise. Even if I don't have other people to play with, I just play in my driveway, try to push myself, get some exercise. But LeBron James has been really interesting to follow in a lot of ways. But more recently, what's been, well, I'll just say this: he is playing phenomenally right now. Like he does not look his age. Um, it's pretty amazing to watch, because there was a stretch of time where it really looked like he's slowing down. And so what I think that says is that the body is often capable of way more than the mind may think. And I think that, because I don't know how else to explain that. It'd be interesting if uh, LeBron, if you want to talk about it, if you want to come on my podcast, uh, that'd be interesting to pick his brain about that. I don't feel like a lot of times he's so straightforward with the media, but um, he can be. But there was a stretch of a couple of years where it definitely looked like he was slowing down. The younger generations are catching up, and as somebody that plays basketball and doesn't maintain like the highest level of fitness or anything, but when I tried to go back in with younger guys, my body just can't keep up. Even if I feel like I'm in decent shape, the quickness of youth is, I'm 36, so if I'm playing with some guys that are 22, it's just like I can't keep up with it. They have a natural advantage that has nothing to do with the work that they've put in. It's just their age. And so to watch what LeBron is doing right now, if anybody's not tuned into basketball, just go. You can pull up a couple of recent games for the Lakers, and watch just how he's moving. It is different. It is different than the way he was moving over the last few years. And anyway, I just wanted to mention it because it inspired me. It makes me realize that there's probably more there than the mind may think. I think that's just a general rule in exercise. In general, you can push yourself a lot further. The mind is weaker than the body. It can be, and maybe it generally is. The body is capable of a lot, and the mind gives out before the body. So I think that goes hand in hand with motivation. Actually, what I wanted to say with motivation, two things. All right, so that's it for LeBron James. Yeah, two things on motivation. One is, I think one of the best things that I've done in maybe the last couple of years is this running. So thank you, Dan, for that. That you went out and did a marathon, because I don't know. I saw that, and it's just like it made me want to do it. And then once I started, even though I haven't done it yet, just pushing myself to start doing that training has been so good for me, because um, it I don't know, like I have more energy, and also to train, I started pushing myself to wake up earlier, and so that's the other side of this motivation uh, bullet point is I started setting my alarm for 2 hours before sunset. So I put a configuration in my iPhone. You can do it through shortcuts on your iPhone, that you can set your stopwatch to go off 2 hours before sunset, or some particular time like that. So I will always get up with 2 hours of dark. I'll get up with 2 hours of of darkness before before other people are getting up, or it's just like it's quiet. It's quiet out there. And the hardest thing in that was actually getting up. You wake up that early, and it's like, oh man, I'm tired, and I just want to sleep. But what I've realized is, when I just get up anyway, I wake up, and this was very significant for me, because for many years of my life, I have felt completely convinced that I need 8 hours of sleep, and if I don't get 8 hours of sleep, I don't function as well, and I just drag, and it's not good. So maybe it's a function of age. You reach a certain age where you don't need sleep as much. Maybe that is. I've heard that's the case, but I'll just say, for me, it just seemed like it was more of a function of just getting up and doing it. As a musician, a lot of my my sleep schedule tends to be, later. I tend to get to sleep around 12 or 1, or maybe even a little bit later. And so then I would want to get up. I would usually say my days really start at 10. I might wake up earlier, but I'll let myself wake up slow, and then really try to get going at 10. So now I'm getting going at like 5, or to whatever 2 hours before sunset is. Now what this means is, if I'm getting to bed at 12, I'm only getting 5 hours of sleep, or if I get to bed at 11, I'm only getting 6. And time will tell the tale of what kind of, the longevity of what I'm doing. But so far, I have found that when I do that, I actually feel great. And so I've made a choice to have a much better diet, and then do this getting up early in the morning. And what's so great about getting up early in the morning is, you're just giving yourself more hours. And so I think if you manage your health right, and you exercise, you're just buying yourself more time. You're giving and what's better than that? They say, like, you have a finite amount of time, and so if you can get more of it that's usable, like, that's kind of invaluable. So and then to get up and get a couple of solid hours in before the sun even comes up, it's like I already start to feel accomplished, and the day hasn't even started. And so I just think this has been one of the best things that I've done, out of everything I've done, in terms of for productivity, or accomplishment, or research, or I think this has been one of the best things for me and for my life. So highly, highly recommend it. And the last thing on my bullet point list is Mike Club, and I just wanted to say again that really had a great time on Wednesday at Middleton and Maker. Really glad I found this venue, and very happy and excited and thankful for the opportunity to do some music there. So I'm really looking forward to the future of that. We did the first one this past Wednesday. It was a lot of fun. They made this huge bonfire. It was really cool. So I do think we're going to make a shift in scheduling. Initially, I was looking at every Wednesday from 8 to 11, and I just already think it's probably going to make more sense to make it a monthly thing. And I think we're going to retarget Saturday. I think we're going to shoot for a Saturday, maybe last Saturdays. I should know more on that soon. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Hoping to get a lot of people involved. So more on it to come. But I just wanted to say I'm excited for its future. Please, stay tuned. Stay tuned for more updates on that. There should be more stuff that I'll be able to say about that really soon in terms of the scheduling and what it's going to look like. So I'm really excited about that. Just can't say it yet. So that's it. Hope you guys have a great New Year's Eve celebration. I have tonight off, so I don't know. Actually, I think I'm going. Downtown to like a Chinese New Year's celebration. Yeah, looking forward to that. Trying to work on my Mandarin. It's not there yet. But with that, hope you guys have a great last day of the year. Thanks for watching my video. We'll see you guys in the new year.